Hello and welcome to another episode of Whispers Beyond the Veil. Homes are supposed to be safe, familiar, untouched by fear. Yet within every house, there are spaces we barely notice. The tiny cracks beneath doors, the narrow slits between furniture and wall. Across Japan, there's an old whisper, a tale of something that lurks in those unnoticed places, a presence that doesn't belong in our world, but somehow fits perfectly within the shadows. They call her Sukima-Onna, the gap woman. She doesn't creep or scream, she simply watches. From impossibly narrow gaps she peers, waiting for someone to notice her gaze. Once you see her eyes, once you hear the silence she brings, you'll never feel alone in your own home again. This is the legend of Sukima-Onna.
In every home, there are spaces we overlook. Tiny cracks, narrow slivers of darkness between wall and furniture. Places we never expect to be inhabited. Yet in Japanese folklore, there exists a presence that dwells precisely in those overlooked places. A being known as Sukima-Onna, the Gap Woman. Every home is full of gaps. Under beds, between closets and walls, around sliding doors. Most of us ignore them without thought, until one night, something watches back. Called Sukima-Onna, literally gap woman, she peers from where no human should be able to fit. An impossible presence, silent, motionless, unblinking. The legend traces back to the Edo period, where such uncanny stories were first recorded in collections like Mimibukuro. One early tale tells of a servant who tried to open a stubborn sliding door. When forced open, a woman appeared from the cramped space behind it, grabbing him before vanishing again. No explanation, just a glimpse of something unnatural. In more recent times, modern variations of the story have spread through the internet and oral retellings. One account involves a young man who felt watched in his own apartment. Searching every inch of his room, he discovered the gaze wasn't imagination after all. There, in the gap between his dresser and wall, a woman stared back at him, unmoving, unblinking. The terror of Sukima-Onna isn't in loud screams or sudden movements. It's in uncomfortable stillness, the sense of being watched, even when alone. Once you see her gaze, the legend says, she won't break eye contact. Some say she can even stretch through the gap, entering our world fully. Some tellings present her as a yokai, a supernatural creature that slips through tiny spaces like water through a sieve. Others believe she's a restless spirit, bound to narrow places by the trauma of her death. What remains constant across all versions is the fear she evokes. The idea that the spaces we overlook might not be empty. No one truly knows what happens after Sukima-Onna fully reveals herself. Some say victims are pulled through the gaps, lost forever. Others become bound to their homes, unable to leave as something watches always. So the next time you see a dark, narrow space in your home, spare a thought, because Sukima-Onna might already be there, staring. Thank you for joining us in today's exploration of Japan's unsettling folklore. Remember, legends are born from fear, and fear lives in the spaces between.
So now you know the tale of Sukima-Onna, the silent watcher who hides in the smallest spaces of your home, in the slivers between wall and dresser, beneath furniture, behind doors. Anywhere a crack can be found. She doesn't need a doorway or an open window. No gap is too tiny for her gaze. Once you see her, she never truly leaves. Kawabana translating Japanese horror. They say that if she catches your eye, she watches you forever, patiently, from places you'd never think to look. Urban legends, and when you feel that faint sensation, that unshakable feeling of being observed, maybe, just maybe, she's already there, hiding in the spaces you forgot to check. So tonight, before the lights go out, look into the cracks, the corners, the gaps you never really notice, because some gaps aren't empty at all. Thank you again for visiting with me. If you enjoy my spooky tales, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. To be notified of new episodes, please tap the bell icon. Until next time.